5 people um, in the making. So I sent out 3 AOAs yesterday, and I had 2 people on the line. I have 1 person on the line in Rising right now. His name is Andre Alexander, and just trying to introduce him to the business also, and also trying to share that information about how important life insurance is. It's not a death sentence. It's it helps you during your life while you're living. So I want to just welcome him to the call, and hopefully he'll, do what he needs to do to get that AOA signed and get on board. And he's such a leader, and I know he can do good in this business. So family, welcome him, Andre Alexander.
Welcome. Hey, Andre.
All right. So I want to pass the ball to Miss.
Ho.
Oh, go ahead.
We can ready bring up Erik. Because I wanted to interject real quick, if it's okay.
Go ahead.
Were you getting ready to bring up your team? Was you getting ready to bring up somebody on your team?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I'm gonna interject real quick before and thank you, Donnie. One thing you mentioned is that you thanked us for pouring into you when you don't realize how much you poured into us yesterday. You poured into us with your transparency. I mean, you probably don't realize it, but it was an exchange going on. But you got to realize you poured into us as well. So thank you for doing that. You inspired a lot of us, and it was a lot. It's unspoken, but I'm sure everybody would agree with what I'm saying. Real quick, I want to do something. I'm not sure where Erik is going with this his thing this morning, but he and I talked yesterday, and I just want to check everybody's temperature, right? If whoever's able, can you type in the chat how big do you want your business to be in the next, say, 3 years? How big do you see yourself? What was the question, Erik? I'm messing up the daggone question.
How big do you see yourself? Like, what's the income level that you see yourself? Let's ask you that question. What's your income level you see yourself at?
Because one thing I know that's a hard question because the business is always growing. But how big do you see yourself? Like, type it in the chat. Don't be scared. Put it out there. Whatever your number is your number. And stop and don't wait for everybody to start putting stuff in, and then you kind of be like, okay, this is where everybody is, so let me type in that. And be specific.
Can you ask the question one more time, please? How big, income-wise, do we see ourselves in what time frame?
Just overall in general. Let's say the next couple of years, just in general, where do you see yourself as an income, in your income status? What do you see yourself as, like you personally? What income level, regardless of where you are right now, where do you see yourself at, personally?
With this business, with your skill set, with what you know you can do, and just knowing everything you know about where you sit in this opportunity. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to move over. I'm going to pass the ball to a gentleman that am I not only blessed for him to be one of my best friends, but also a mentor in business, a great coach, a personal mediator, confidant. And this gentleman has really, really paved the way and helped pioneer us creating this USAX explosion. Not only is he a 6-figure ring earner, first executive director in the United States that met his requirements, also a gold legacy member, equity shareholder, and a member of the prestigious ELC. So I want to bring up none other than a half of this super dynamic duo ED couple, none other than Coach Erik, aka the Soul Motivator.
Thank you, Uncle Jock, for that amazing introduction. Thank y'all, everyone. and I want to just share something. When we were talking about Jock, you say, how big do you see yourself? Like, and I really want y'all to ask you, start thinking, you personally, even without the business, you,
Right.
Erik Roberts, Jock Vaughn, where do you see yourself? What's your income did you see yourself as? Like, when I say big, you see yourself not only when you step on the scale, but when you look at your bank, where do you see your bank? Where do you see your lifestyle? Where do you see you at? Where do you see your value, right? And the question as we was asking each other, I was telling Jock, when I start looking at our business, you got to start thinking about compound effects.
Yes.
Compound effects. And there was a point in my business last couple of years, I was like, we was compounding and we started growing and growing and growing. And then we stopped compounding. And I said, Jock, we took a slip. And I had to start, pause. And I had to go look at my numbers. I had to check the dot, check the clock. Right?
And that was scary though, Erik. When we sat and pulled those numbers up, you could really see where all the holes are in the tire.
Yeah, I saw a lot of holes. That's one of the reasons why we're changing our onboarding system. I say, hold on, because the goal is to have compound effect. So, you got simple interest and you got compound interest. And I know Mary talked about that on our slide, right? Now some of y'all remember simple interest, then compounding interest. Ooh, I might even go to that slide because it plays into effect. Let me find that right here and find the simple interest compound. Because simple interest would be, hey, you know what? You're adding the principal and say you're getting 10%. So then each year you get 10%. Each year you get 10%. Each year you get 10%. Compounding interest is when you're adding 10% each year, but then it's 10% on top of the next 10%, on top of the next 10%, on top of the next 10%. So I'm trying to share a slide with y'all real quick, all right? So let me know when y'all can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So when you start thinking about this, and it goes back to our presentation, right? Compounding interest, Einstein said this is the eighth one, those who understand it earn it, and those who don't pay it. So simple interest. If you take $100,000 and you're getting 10%, 100,000, 10% of that is 10,000. So every year you add 10,000. Every year you add 10,000. Every year you add 10,000. In the beginning, it kind of looks similar, right? 10,000, 10,000 first year. Next year, now you're getting 10,000. With compounding, you're getting 10% of the 110,000. So you're getting 10% on top of what you already had, not just the base. And where I'm going with this, right? In the beginning, it looks kind of close. Well, not much different. 3,000 versus 130,000, right? 3,000 extra. Now you get 6,000 extra. Still look kind of close. But when you add it over time, 20 years later, whoa, you doubled. 30 years later, doesn't even come close. 40 years later, doesn't come close. Are y'all with me? See, so in the beginning, it looked similar in the beginning. And that's when I had to stop and say, Jock, man, I got to look at this thing with my business. The compound effect wasn't happening. And I started looking at my income and started to go back. And I said, oh, no, I got to crank this thing up. I got to throw fuel on
it. Because this is the part where a lot of people, it's where a lot of the traffic jam stuff happened. You said your income was up, and then you looked and you started backsliding from an income level, right?
Income started backsliding. Why? It backslided because there was no compound effect. Like people was coming.
One last thing.
Yes, sir.
And it wasn't just your personal income. We saw the team's income doing the same thing. Some people, right?
Yeah, some of the team income was doing the same thing. And one of the questions, Jack, I said, I see when this goes back to receipts, I have the ability that my income drops. I got the internal ability to overcome the obstacle. Many people don't. They fall.
Yes.
See, many people don't. It's like, oh man, my income dropped. Where am I gonna go? Can I get there? See, I done been there and done that a couple of times. I've been a millionaire on paper with real estate investments and everything. Market crash, things crashed, and stuff went sideways. 1 or 2 deals went sideways, and boom. I went from being a millionaire to not a millionaire to being bankrupt. Guess what? I can redo it all over again. You follow me? So I done been up, been down, been up in the job world, been down, right? So I have the ability, I have the drive to understand you can do it again. As long as I got breath in my lungs, I can do it again. And that's what the question was, where do you see yourself, right? And if you ask me, I probably see myself about $500,000 person. Now, it may not show my bank, but I know I'm probably $500 million, not million, $500 million. I see myself like $500 million. I got to figure out how to generate my abilities to turn into 500 million. Are y'all with me? See, I see myself as 500 million. I should be seeing myself as a billion, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. I probably see myself right now about a $500 million. I know I've met people who make a $500 million. I've seen people make a $500 million, and I don't think they're any better than me. So I got to figure out what I need to do, what I got to take to get there. Are y'all with me? So now let's just talk. Let's bring it way far away from the $500 million. Let's bring it all the way back down. Let's say six figures, 100,000. My business dropped. Ooh, I ain't there no more. Got the ring, but the income ain't there. So Eric, what do you got to do? I got to get it back, right? And along the way of getting it back, I started seeing some of the holes, Jock. I started seeing some of the holes. And I started looking around. And I realized we was missing some compound effect. Why? And there's a couple of reasons what happened with the compound effect, couple of things. And a lot of it is a couple of individuals along the way. They lost their compound effect. Some of our team members lost their compound effect for various reasons. Life be life in different things. But that right there is one of the key points that made me realize, Eric, that's where you lose your compound effect. See, if your team members lose their compound effect and that affects your compound effect, that's a problem that you have.
Yes.
Why, Eric? Because that means you're not constantly compounding. You're not constantly growing your business. You think your business grows when your team members grow. What are you doing? See, I got plaques in the back that can show you. Oh, hold on. Just in case people think, oh, you need it. You got to be. It ain't you. It's your team. Anybody see what this says? What number this says?
Numero uno.
Number one.
I was number one in the company. Are y'all with me? Personal, number one. Then the next year, we was personally number 5. And we've been personally in the top 10 since we've been here. But then there was a year we stopped. This is personal building, personal recruiting. Are y'all with me? So I'm not talking. So then when I realized when I stopped, the compound effect stopped. Oh. I said, Eric, that's when you start to understand this business model is being a business builder, business owner. Are y'all with me? Are y'all catching that? Because you start thinking about where your team, like, oh, let me help them, let me coach them, manage them. No, you lose the compound effect. It's constantly building. You look at experience. Jamie's constantly building. Jamie recruited Juan Jaime personally directly. He recruited Frank personally directly. He recruited Darren. How many of y'all got a Frank on your team? Tomorrow, did you recruit it? Okay. How many of y'all got a personal Darren on your team? Did you personally recruit it? Okay. How many of y'all got like a ball Jeep on your team? Did you personally recruit it? We ain't gonna talk about the $2 million a year guy like Juan. How many of y'all got one of those on your team? Did you personally recruit it? Are y'all seeing that? See, every year Jamie's bringing up like a Zachy. Ooh, what? How many of y'all got like a Zachy on your team? Did you personally? It's like you wonder why his growth is there. He's showing you. He understood. Now it took him many years to understand that. Are y'all with me? But it's just an understanding. It's not a skill set. See, that's the difference. Some of y'all think it's a skill set, but it's not a skill set. It's a mindset. Different thing. See, it took him several years to understand the mindset. And that's how you constantly have compounding growth. So you see experience, you're setting records. Every month they're setting records. Every month they're setting records. The question is, if the company's setting records every month and you're regressing, Eric, there's a problem.
Houston, we got a problem.
That's an internal problem. Somebody said a recession, I once heard, a recession is what happens to everybody else. A depression is what happens to you.
Mm.
See, I was in a depression. The company there was no recession. The company was growing. There was no recession. The company's growing, setting records. Not just growing, setting records in every category. Not me. Why? Because I took my foot off the gas and misunderstood the compound effect. Are y'all with me?
Now we got to get back at it.
I misunderstood what building a business was like. See, I'm gonna go over something with
You're
y'all.
on mute, Erik.
Huh?
You're on mute, Erik.
I can hear you.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Y'all hear me? Okay. I
You're on
misunderstood
mute.
what
You're on
building
mute.
a business was like. Are y'all with me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
hear you.
You good?
Okay. So I'm gonna share something with you. We kind of went over this, and this is what we talk about in week 2 of our business. I'm gonna share the screen. Week 2, we go over this. I'm gonna creating wealth with business ownership. So I'm gonna go to something real quick with y'all. Okay. You know, this this information right here, and we talk about. There's a saying. I'd rather get paid 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. Right? I've heard J. Paul Getty, John Rockefeller, but does anybody know what the concept means? Who can share with me what's this concept understanding? What's this mean?
Compounding.
Freedom.
But what does that concept mean? I'd rather get paid 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own effort. What does that concept mean?
It's compounding, so you don't have to work as hard if you have other people working with you.
That's the result. But what is it really saying? That's one thing. That's a part of it.
More franchise.
More residual with more people doing it than just one.
That's one effect of it. But what is it actually saying specifically? What does that mean specifically?
You're
It
working
means
smart.
leverage.
Freedom.
Team.
Build
It
a
means
team.
All
it
right,
means
so
one
those
percent
are,
of a
Recruiting, constant recruiting, and keep building.
It
all right,
means it means if you build enough resources, if you put together 100 people and you only get 1% out of each of those 100 people or any entity, you get 1% out of each single one of those entities, you still did more than your own efforts at 100%.
okay, right now, the thing is right on point. Now I want y'all to understand the concept, not the basic, what it's saying. I'd rather get paid 1% of 100 people's efforts. What that means is, if you, like you said, you put together 100 people, 100 entities. If I get 1% of those 100 entities, he said, I'd rather get 1% of those 100 entities than 100% of my own efforts. Meaning, if I had to go do it all myself, that's 100% of my own efforts. Right? So if I got to do it, I'm getting paid 100% of my own efforts. He said, instead of me doing it all, I'd rather get 1% of 100 people's or 100 entities' efforts. So let's take mowing the lawn. If I'm a lawn care landscaper, he's saying, instead of me going out and mowing everybody's lawns, if I go mow all the lawns, I'm earning only when I mow the lawns. But I'd rather have 100 people. Notice, how many people he said?
100.
How many of y'all got 100 people on your team right now? How many of y'all went out and recruited 100 people?
Not yet. You're muted.
I might be close.
Eric, you muted.
You're muted, Erik.
Somebody call Erik.
I
I
got
think
100.
he's on it now. He's trying to fix it.
You don't gotta call me. I can hear you. All right.
There you go.
So, hold on. So this concept, are y'all with me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So this concept, only Derek applies to Derek right now. The thought process is, but let's say the actual principle, 100 people. That means first you got to get to 100 people. Yes, Derek, talk to me.
Erik, part of this equation, I definitely understand the concept here, okay? But what does that look like in the beginning, okay? Because I've kind of gone this route where I put in a bunch of people, all right? At what part do we factor in really getting in there and grinding out so it sticks because they're getting paychecks?
I'm going to get that, Derek. See, the point is, when you stop doing the concept, and you miss it, you never have the compound, right?
Yeah.
That's the key. You can't
Mm-hmm.
stop working the concept. You can get better at the sticking part,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't stop the and that's what happened to me. You start going, oh man, well, you know, let me, and then you start realizing you don't have any compounding because you stopped the principle, right?
Oh, hey, Eric,
Yes.
real quick, just so we're clear, or let me, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. Well, I know what you're putting down, but I want to paint the picture for everybody that's cool. The compounding is equals, you get your compounding from recruiting, right?
The compounding comes from recruiting because people get better. You get better at bringing on people. You get better at onboarding people, right? Your
Right.
skills get better. But if you did a
Right.
whole lot like you did in the beginning and we stop and we go, oh man, let me stop because it ain't working. But then what
Right.
happens is you don't realize you just lost the principle of the compounding because now you can't compound upon that. Because think about it. One of your biggest explosions that's coming in your business happened from the recruit that's way before. See, that's a compound effect, right? Jack Winnett through Nancy, man, that's a compound effect. But when we stop, we minimize, we're now adding back, we minimize the compound effect. And that's what I'm sharing with you. So when you understand this concept, so let's go back here. Then you take this and apply it to Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, right? His cash flow quadrant says this. You got the E is employees. It's talking about linear income versus leverage income. Now let's add this all together. Linear income versus leverage income, right? E is employee. We know that. S is in self-employed, right? Self-employed. Now you own a job. First you got a job, then you own a job. B is now you become a business owner. And he calls a business owner having 50 or more employees as a business owner. He's like, you're not a business owner 50 or more. So think about it. If I don't have a team of 50 or more, I don't even qualify. Are y'all catching that? I'm still in the self-employed mode. Now, it's not just 50 people. In our industry, we would want at least 50 licensed agents. So you may have to recruit a whole lot, Derek, to get to 50 licensed agents. So we never got to that next part, right? So we got to make sure the goal is to get here to become a business owner. So I may start off with a lot of people got the employee mindset. Hey, y'all, let's get something. But my mindset is, remember, it's not the skill set. I'm telling you, the mindset is I got to do what it takes to get to here. Now, that's what Robert Kiyosaki says. Now, I is the investor. That means your money's making money. You notice on this side right here, this is not depending on you now because you're a business owner. You got team members. So let's plug this into let's take our business, Experience Financial Group. Most people come in from an employee mindset. They're coming over here as employee mindset. Hey, I'm employee. You're new recruit sometimes. They came from the job. Their mind is here, new recruit, right? Now they go out and get licensed. This is a regular licensed agent. They come in, oh man, I want to sell some policies. I'm going to write a deal. I ask them, we got a question on our beginning, right? You say, hey, do you want to build a business? You want to write? You know the typical answer is, well, first I want to learn how to write some policies first. You got to learn how to write policies. You got to do this. See, that's why I ask you where you see yourself. I see myself as I'm a $500 million guy. I'm a $500 million guy. Me, when I got started as a $500 million Eric Robinson, was never going to be a $500 million just writing insurance policies. Are y'all with me?
Right.
So I never day one had the mindset because I never saw myself as here. Because I have transitioned through my life. I've been a self-employed guy. I've been an employee. In terms of employee world, I was a highly paid employee, right? So I've been a highly paid employee. My wife is a highly paid employee in terms of the employee world. We're in the top 10%, top 5% of employees. I've been the top 5% of a paid employee. Been there. I've been a self-employed guy. Been there. Are y'all with me? So I know what it's like to do this. So by the time I got to Xperia, my mindset was here. Are y'all with me? My mindset was here. You don't have to stay here. But this is typically like the agent. Now you can start to become a builder. Let's understand something. Our business model, I see your hand, B, I'm coming to you. But our business model, think about this. Can I get a couple extra minutes to help y'all with this? I might go over a little bit. Is that okay? Can I get extra? Can I still 10?
Yes, sir.
So think about this. A business person, you're now getting leveraged income, meaning you're getting some, we may call it overrides, right? You're generating revenues off of other people's production. Let me ask you this question. At what level in Xperia do you generate, or you have the ability to generate revenue when somebody else writes a sale? Y'all
Yeah,
don't.
I won't answer
Okay.
because I sat in your class last night. So
Okay.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't send my class, don't answer. But anybody who did not send my, wasn't in last night, at what level do you have the ability to generate revenue when somebody else writes a sale?
SFA.
Think about it. Not even SFA job.
FA,
Talk to me, Marcella. Why is an FA? How can an FA generate revenue when somebody else writes a sale?
because as
Oh,
you're
you said when
building,
somebody else writes the sale. My bad.
Yes.
if you recruited that person, then they're your downline. So that's how. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, that's how this business work is as you're recruiting. So the depth of your business is helping you
So hold on.
override.
If I'm an FA, day one, if I sign up, get licensed. Now we talking about you got to get licensed, right? If I sign up, get my license, I recruit Billy Bob. Billy Bob writes a sale. Do I get any commission off of Billy Bob's sale if I'm an FA?
Yes.
Yes.
You get what? Anybody know the percentage?
5.
You get 5%. I don't care what the number is. You generated revenue on somebody else's production.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! You mean to tell me Xperia has a model that I can think like a business owner day one?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go out and recruit 10 people and they all write sales, I'm getting 5% off of those 10 people's sales. What?
No, Eric, can I jump in somehow a little bit?
Talk to me.
Because this is what I tell people, that if you are here in the Spirit, this is an awesome business platform that you have here. Because in my previous company, if you are an FA and you also recruit somebody who's an FA, and both of you are licensed, when that person write business, you don't get nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You
Nicole,
don't get nothing. Most company, but Xperia, you get at least 5%.
so think about it. Most companies don't. So Xperia has a model that when you come in, you can think as a business owner. What day, y'all?
One.
Day one. See, most people don't, but you have the ability. See, what you do and what you got the opportunity to do, that's totally on you, business owner. So if I'm an SFA and I get a new person who's an FA, brand new guy, FA, I'm an SFA, I recruit a brand new FA. What is my override when he does a sale?
15%.
15%. So I bring somebody in, I'm an FA, I'm an SFA, see him, and I bring another person, he's an FA, I got a 15% spread. He gets 70% commission. He may be thinking this way, he's doing his own sales, right? Or she, I get a 15% override. Now, let's bump me all the way up to the top position. I'm an executive director. I see you, B. I'm an executive director, and I got a senior manager under me. So I want you to understand the concept. I'm an executive director and I got a senior manager. That senior manager makes a sale. What's my percentage commission override?
15%.
15%.
Is that 15% as an ED over an SM? Is that 15% any different than the SFA over FA?
No.
Nope.
You mean because I'm an ED, my 15% don't sit differently, don't hit differently?
Nope.
It's the same 15%, y'all. But see, some of y'all, I can't wait to get to this. But what are you maximizing where you're at? Oh, when I get to ED, I'm going to see. The difference is executive directors is somebody who understands the principle, and they have more people in their organization. Are y'all with me?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the compensation when I get there. No, the building side, it's a mindset. The same override happens at both positions. I got SFAs who make more than EDs. We got SMs who make more. Are y'all with me? They understand the bill. It's not all about the position. It's about understanding the dollars and cents. Are y'all catching that? Now, you don't have to go business. I'm just telling you, this is Robert Kiyosaki. Now, when you start to become an I want y'all to catch this. The business owners is still doing, you leveraging, you're still getting information, income, right? The I is passive income. Do y'all know what the I is in experienced business now? The I is the executive director's position. Why? Because as the ED, you now get generational overrides of the other executive directors. So Nicole is an executive director and Dr. Teresa is one of his EDs. Dr. Teresa O'Day runs her own agency. She does her own recruiting. She can do her own training. Now, they may do some things together, but do you realize Nicole gets a 14% override on that production? He doesn't have to do the training. He's not responsible for any of that. That's like investment income. Are y'all with me? See, Aurelio Evans is the executive director, but he has me as the ED. So I'm his investment income. Everything I do, my agency, he gets 14%. I introduced Jock. He really didn't introduce Jock. Really ain't even on his line. Some of y'all wouldn't know him if y'all see him. But he gets a 7% override over Jock's business. He doesn't have to do with Jock. He gets, Roz is in Texas running his own business. He gets a passive income over Rosenberg's business. Are y'all with me? His business does $100,000 every month, and really gets the passive override. Heck, Myron Natasso gets an investment income over Raza business, and they're in another country. Are y'all with me? The people on Raza's team wouldn't know Tasso Legos if he was standing right in front of them. That's investment income. When you get to executive director, ladies and gentlemen, Xperia, you're able to start to get them this type of income. But you can build business income from day one. See, it's the mindset, y'all. So that's why I wanted to ask. I asked you, how big do you see yourself? Because where you see yourself is how you move. You move according to your vision. See, when you understand the principles, and that's what happens with the compound effect, Erik, we get better. We're going to involve the system, but you don't stop the system. See, business don't stop the system. See, you think about this, Tesla's had recalls, but Elon Musk thinks like a billionaire. He didn't say, oh, I'm not going to. Most people tell you, if your business is perfect, you waited too late to launch it. If you talk to any successful entrepreneur, they say, if you've got a perfect product, you waited too late to launch. Ford does recall, but they're $1 billion company. Are you willing to go out there and put a product out there and you got to fix it, recall it, make some changes, make some corrections? See, some of y'all are thinking like an employee. You got to be perfect because you mess up as an employee, you get fired. Self-employed, you're thinking like a self-employed. Hey, if you mess somebody's lawns up, they're going to fire you. Like, man, I'm lose that job. I can't lose that one thing. And I'm close with this. An employee's biggest fear is that they will lose their job. An entrepreneur's biggest fear is one day they're going to have to go back and get a job. I will need y'all to start understanding, if you want to build a big business, you got to think like a business owner and teach your team to think like a business owner day one. You don't have to, it's not a skill set. It's the mindset. And when you realize you're building a business, you will learn all the things needed. There's books, there's so much things. You can get better as a business owner, but you will go out trying to acquire business owner skills versus trying to acquire the skills of an employee. Two different processes of skill sets needed. With that being said, turn over to you, Mr. Troy King. B, hold on. B had a question. I promised B I was going to come to her. B, you had a question? All right, B, make sure we get Miss B Richards. Troy, back to you, sir.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. And another fine mic drop. None other than Mr. Erik Robinson, Super Soul Motivator. And I don't know, Miss B, are you still there? Because I'm looking for some legs to run this relay race. And this is our Annie Willie Recap Relay. And as we do, we take all the nuggets that we've been having our brain stretch with. this morning, and we take 1 minute to get it out and reflect with all those that are on the line this morning. So with that being said, we're gonna give it one more shot. Miss B, where you at? You're gonna be the first leg of this relay today. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. All righty then. The next leg is up, and he's coming out of the holding block, and that is none other than Mr. LaCole Elijah Pye. Do
Thank
it.
you, thank you. Mr. Eric, I want to share this because yesterday, you see my my background, right? When I came
Wow.
on the call this morning, this is what was showing on my background
Wow.
this morning. Because this is what I was talking to somebody about yesterday. And then when I
Wow.
came on the call, I said, wow, I don't know what Eric is going to talk about. Let me remove this so that this won't be a distraction. But guess what you're bringing up
Wow.
this morning, right?
Good
And
stuff.
and
Good
and
stuff.
and and look at it this way. When you I mean, like I shared
You
earlier,
on mute,
in the
LaCole?
previous company, if you
No,
have
he's
an
good.
S, huh?
You're
You don't
good.
hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we
All
hear
right.
you, Nicole.
Yeah. If you have an SM and you have an SM, because right now, I try. Just give me a little minute, because it's sometimes it's not to have something to motivate you to know
Mm,
what you are doing. Because in my previous company, okay, here in the Spirio, for you to become an ED, right? Like Jimmy was sharing the other day, I was sharing with my team on Wednesday. You have to have an SM to build an SM. That's one of the qualification leg. Become an ED.
Mhm.
In my previous company, now you are building and you already built an SM. Both of you are now SM. You are now running to qualify for your executive director. But because you now have an SM under you, this in WFG, right? I have to be very clear. In WFG, because you are already you are an SM, and you are building another SM to become an ED. Anything that SM is doing, you don't get an override anymore.
mm,
That's
All of
right.
that override goes straight to your SMD until you become an SMD in the previous company. But here in Esperio, even though you are already, both of you are SM and you are running for your ED, you still get override.
mm,
Sometimes you got to know what you have, right? To create that
Mhm.
passion for you, to know that you have the best. And somebody, I think was Uncle Jack, that asked me some time ago, right? Based on what Eric was sharing this morning, Jimmy owned Esperio. Don't just hear the CEO and co-founder. He owned Esperio, but he is still recruiting.
mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Recruiting,
Actively too. Yep.
actively recruiting. And if you imagine this, if you are an ED and you recruit somebody who's an FA, right? That is 45% override in between. That's what we call the spread.
Mm,
45%. If you are an SM and you recruit somebody who's an FA, right? You are 100%, and the person is what? That is 35% override.
Mhm.
So why should you stop recruiting? Because,
That's right.
it's a filtration system. I don't know if my English is right. English is my sixth language, okay? But if the filtration system is bring in people, your job is to educate them, show them the platform, sell the dream. They make their own decision. If they want to go ahead, that's fine. There are millions of people out there that need what we have. So
That's
thank you
it,
back
then.
to you, Mr. Troy. Sorry for
Absolutely,
keeping.
absolutely. Well said, well said. And that is bringing it in the zone and just bringing it on out and passing it on to that man that is always running to the finish line. And that is none other than Mr. Derek Holston.
All right, all right. Keep my time, Mr. Troy. I'm running my clock too. Real quick, fantastic, another fantastic training, right? Where seeing it big, uh, compounding and also business income, they all came into play. So I sat in the Monday night class, week number 2, right? I didn't remember if I had sat in on week number 1, but I said, let me go week number 2. And Eric talked about this, and I actually applied this yesterday in this conversation with a lady who has 8 agents on her team. I didn't know that FAs overrode other FAs. I didn't know that until Monday. So we were able to use that as part of the comparison, the part of the business decision making for this young lady who came over, right? And again, she's bringing 8 agents. In this conversation, this is one thing I'm also learning, is that by getting better and applying and doing, okay, now I know how to have the conversations. I'm more confident in those conversations. And yes, we will get a Juan Jaime, a Frank DeLeo, a Darren Golka, and we are breaking a ton of executive directors 2025. So I'm excited about it.
Awesome, awesome. And that third leg is ready, and that is none other than Dr. Teresa O'Day. Get it?
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me. Thank you, Eric. It's just really clear, and we have the opportunity of getting stretched as it relates to our vision. We understanding that the linear income is the old way. Is the old way. The leveraged income is the 21st century way. And we wonder how a lot of these organizations make millions. Definitely not a single effort of an individual. So it's just now we have the opportunity to really be close to the source. And especially right here in the village with the Nugget Bucket owner, Mr. Eric, and all of your, Mr. Jack, and all of your leaders here. This is just the best place to start one's day. So thank you all so much.
Awesome, awesome. And thank you for your input to the annually recap relay. And that takes us to none other than Showtime Showstopper. You know how they do in the big concerts and they come up real slow? And that takes us to none other than our girl, the anchor leg, the number one, the one that takes us to the finish line and takes us to the victory circle. None other than Downtown Rita Brown.
Rita, Rita, Rita.
Rita.
Thank y'all. Okay, I'm gonna try this morning. Okay, all right. When you get in the zone, ride it and push yourself. Have casual conversations. Bring facts. Get comfortable with transferring information to potential customers and business partners. What's your pitch? We can rely on each other in this village. Putting your clients in a better situation is always a good thing. Trainings we have on Tuesday and Saturday are going to be game changing. Get everybody in the game. Post on your wall what it takes to get to your next level. Know where you are at all times. Be intentional. Having it in front of you will cause a big shift. Don't jump off the ledge, on the ledge. Join the company, own the product, and share it with others. Business that stays is business that pays. We are working to get to the next level. Do you wish you could clone yourself? You can. Find someone on your team. Get good at delegating. Find the who. It's all about collaborations and partnerships. Life insurance is important. It's not a death sentence. It does have living benefits. How big do you see yourself? How big do you see your bank account, your life? Compound effects when it comes to business. Look at your numbers and you can see where you are. Simple interest is adding like 10% each year. Compound interest is like adding 10%, but adding 10% on top of 10% on top of 10%. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, but he who doesn't, pay it. It looks similar in the beginning, but after 20, 30 years, it grows. Do you have the eternal ability to keep going when your income drops? You can. You can do it over and over again. Wherever you see yourself, you have to figure out what it takes to get there. We are missing some compound effects for various reasons. If your team members lose their compound effect and you lose yours, you are not compounding yourself. Don't blame your team. You just have to understand compounding. It's not a skill set, it's a mindset. A recession is what happens to everyone else. A depression is what happens to you. Don't take your foot off the gas and misunderstand the compound effect. I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts, which means I'd rather have 100 people doing it instead of me doing it all. When you stop doing the concept, you don't have the compounding. Compounding comes from recruiting. When you stop, you minimize the compound effect. Robert Kiyosaki's linear employee versus leverage. ESBI. The employee, you have a job. Most people come into Experian with an employee mindset. Then when they become licensed, they have the self-employed mindset where you own a job and you produce it. We should be getting to the business owner mindset, 50 or more team members. And then we have the investors, which is your passive income. The I is the executive director position. You can have other EDs. That becomes your investment income. At what level do you have the ability to generate revenue when someone else writes a policy? At financial associate, you can get 5% when someone writes a policy on your team. You can think like a business owner from day one. Are you maximizing where you are? It's not about the position, it's about the dollars and the cents. It's the mindset. How you see yourself is how you move. Get better at the system. Don't stop the system. If your business is perfect, you waited too long to launch. If you want to build a big business, you have to become a business owner from day one and teach your team to become a business owner from day one. Remember, it's not a skill set, it's a mindset. That's it. That's all.
Rita, you did it again. Girl, you just high five.
Wow.
Rita, you just keep doing it day after day after day. Mic drop. I can y'all did y'all hear Rita?
Do that.
Did you hear Rita? Rita. I just can't say it enough. That girl is bad. Thank you, Rita, once again, and thank each and every one of you for participating this morning and adding to the Annie Willie Recap Relay and bringing out all the nuggets. And we want to thank, obviously, the man that holds that nugget bucket, Mr. Erik E.D. Robinson, the soul motivator. It's back to you.
Whew, wow. You know, Rita, Troy, you said it. I don't know how you do it, but I just pray every day that you don't stop doing it for us and that God keeps giving you the ability to keep doing it.
No, man.
Rita, you got something coming in your Cash App again, girl.
Oh my gosh.
That was
In my
great.
in
Oh
my
my
Michael
gosh,
Jackson voice.
Rita.
In my Michael Jackson voice. Who's bad?
Thank y'all. Thank you. It wasn't easy today because Erik did his presentation. And I'm like, okay, how am I gonna get all this on here? I can't say everything.
Wait, you said it wasn't easy?
No, it wasn't. Because I couldn't do his presentation over again.
Girl, that was phenomenal.
High five. High five. Rita, you know you bad.
Man, I'm telling
Thank you.
Rita, you did it. You did it. And I put in the chat, y'all. There's a BTO. Juan Jaime is going to BTO today at 1 p.m. So we'll probably be stopping at our our office hours a little early. Get shared out to your team. He's doing a BTO 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 Central Standard Time. Let's go. Let's pack the house. Let's grow our business. Let's get our people, our teams there, re-inspired, re-energized. We got our training tonight, but go find somebody that you can go get them on this call today. Are y'all with me? Let's get somebody on this call today. Let's grow. Let's keep doing what you're doing. Day one, think like a business owner. Think like a multimillionaire. Don't worry about what's in your bank account. It's how you think. The bank account follows your thought process. But I guarantee if you don't think you're multi-million-dollar, the $1 million will not follow. I've been on this planet for 50 plus years. I've never seen a Brinks truck just drop up just because. I haven't been driving down the road and seen a Brinks truck just open up and money just fell out. And it's like, oh, money just falls out, just unaccounted for, and you can just scoop it all up, right? It don't just happen. Has anybody ever seen that? Has anybody ever seen somebody, maybe a neighbor, you driving, and they just pulled up and pulled the truck and dropped a whole bunch of money in their house and say, take it? It don't happen. We got to go get it. 100 million, a million millionaires was created in 2024. A million people, a million new millionaires. This year in 2025, you're not already. Let's become one of those millionaires. Are y'all with me? But you got to think like it and then watch what happens. Let the actions follow. The actions follows your thoughts. Your thoughts don't follow your actions.
And
So
can you put that in the WhatsApp?
Leadership mindset also today.
Put the meeting in the mindset. I mean the meeting. Y'all got me all mixed up. Put the meeting in the WhatsApp.
Please.
All right, I'll put the meeting in the WhatsApp. With that being said, love y'all. Go have an amazing day. Oh, Frank does his mindset training. He's getting ready to get on now at 10 o'clock. I don't know if somebody can put that in the chat group too. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be fired up today because there's some couple of things going on in the ELC group. There's some people talking trash around the way. So I know he's gonna be on fire, man. The ELC is popping. They got Jamie on fire. Y'all, there's people talking trash about Xperia and they lying, and that don't go too well with some of the people over there. So you might get on Frank's mindset train today. You don't know what to expect. So I'm trying to tell you, you ain't walking into church, okay? So don't feel like you're walking into a church service because he might be a little bit on fire today. All right. So with that being said, if somebody can put that in the chat, I'll close the meeting after. If somebody has that link, you can find it in the Spirit back office. And Rita, yeah, if you can put your cash up, Rita. It's holiday season. If anybody want to drop something to Rita, drop something to Rita because I'm telling you, I like to bless those who have a gift, and let's continue to try to sow into each and everybody's gift. I know some of y'all got your own personal skills and gifts. I get that, but I believe that when you're able to sow into others, you reap what you sow. Are y'all with me? You sow into others so they can come back to you. So Rita is sowing into good grounds. So Rita, if you can drop your cash app, I know you don't like doing it, but if you can, that's cool. Please do it. Because I like sowing into good ground because I like to see some return on my investment. So I sowing into you, there's gonna be a return back to me. So with that being said, love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you all.
Hey, Eric.
I'm gonna change my name to A. Eric. It ain't Coach Eric
Brother
no more.
Eric.
My name is A. Eric.
Hey, Eric. Can you do me a favor, man?
Yes, sir.
From the no excuses thing that we did at the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Can you send me that, please, sir?
Yep. I surely can. I'm gonna find the video, the overview.
Yes, because I want to review it, please.
Oh yeah. That's a good thing. I'm gonna drop that in the group. I gotta figure out how to get it. I'm gonna drop it in the group. I think everybody should have that. That's a video that I think everybody should have access to.
Because I want to listen back to it and what I said because I don't remember what I said.
All right, come on. I'm gonna get it to you, sir. I'm gonna get it to you. With that being said, y'all have an amazing day on purpose.
Thank you, Ken, sir.